Hey everyone, Ryan from Mazama Sporting Goods here once again to do another little product feature in the beautiful Oregon rain, so hopefully that noise doesn't get too annoying. But today we're going to be talking about the extremely popular Sig P365. Now, this one is just the regular X-ray model, so night sights and all that fun stuff. They do have a lot of other options on the market, including an XL, but today's video we're just going to be focusing on the standard 365 X-ray. Now, in my opinion, I think this is one of the most size-efficient pistols on the market. It is amazing how many rounds they're able to get into a pistol this size. With this magazine here, with the little pinky ramp, or with their flush fit mags, you have 10 rounds of 9mm, and then we were also using one of their factory 12-round magazines in this thing, and it is just remarkable how small it feels for such a capacity. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the features on this pistol. As I previously mentioned, this is the X-ray model, which means you do have night sights. Your front sight, you have a high-vis green ring with a tritium vial in the center for night and low light, and then you have two tritium vials in the rear for a kind of 3-dot sight setup when those things are glowing at night. Being tritium, you don't have to charge it or anything crazy like that. They're just going to glow constantly for approximately 10 years from when they were installed. Beside that, on the slide, we do have front slide serrations for those of you who like doing your press checks, as well as your standard rear slide serrations. It makes it very easy to get a positive grip on this thing, whether you like to do the slingshot method, or if you're just grabbing up here in the front to do a press check, make sure there's brass in the chamber. This will allow you to do both of those very easily. Moving down to the frame, we do have a proprietary accessory mount here on the front, so there are options on the market already. Whether you want to mount a light or a laser, you can do that with this pistol with some options from Sig. The thing that I like about those designs from Sig is they have a very passive activation method, where typically, especially I know with the laser for sure, it comes up underneath the trigger guard so that when you grip it, it automatically turns the laser on should you choose to leave it on, which means you don't have to actively think about anything as you grab the pistol to defend yourself. It's already doing what it needs to do, which requires less of you in those stressful situations. We do have a reasonably large trigger guard. It's not as large as some of the full-size guns out there on the market, so if you are wearing gloves, it might not be as easy to get your finger in there, but that's going to vary from person to person. And then in this model, we have the curved trigger. The 365 XL comes standard with the straight trigger, and you can add straight triggers to these aftermarket from Sig. And we do also carry those in the store should you want to change the profile of that trigger. Your magazine release is not always ambi, however it can be converted from left hand to right hand or vice versa, so no matter what hand you like to shoot with, this will accommodate you. However, the slide lock and release is only going to be on the left side of the firearm, so for those of you lefties, you're just going to have to either work around that or find a different pistol. One of the things that I like about a pistol this small is the texturing they did on the grip here. It's not ultra aggressive to where it's going to chew up your skin while you're carrying it. However, it does give you a lot of tactile control over the pistol, and when this thing is jumping around, albeit rather controllably for a gun this size, having that extra texturing on the grip definitely makes it easier to maintain a positive grip throughout your string of fire. Now, at least for me, with my kind of mid-ish size hands, I can still kind of get a full grip with this pinky ramp on here. With just the straight flush fit mag, it's a little bit more difficult for me. However, with the factory 12-round magazines, it's definitely easy for me to get a complete grip on here, and from hearing a lot of our customers talk about these pistols when handling them in store, that 12-round grip definitely feels really good. So if you wanted to, you could have a 12-round magazine as your backup and carry with a more flush fit mag for concealment, or if you can get away with it, just carry a 12-round magazine all the time and have that extra ammo and extra positive grip over the pistol. Now, as far as how this thing actually shoots, I'm rather impressed by this thing. I've shot a lot of subcompact and micro pistols on the market, and in general, the rule of thumb is the smaller the gun is, the harder it is to shoot. And while this is definitely more difficult to shoot than your mid-size or full-size guns like your Glock 19s, your CZ P10Cs, anything like that, it's definitely a lot more manageable than other guns in this size range. That makes it easy to have quick, fast follow-up shots and make sure that you're putting those rounds exactly where you want them to. And on that note, I did do some accuracy testing at approximately 5 yards with some standard 115 grain Cellar and Bella ammo that we carry in the store. And shooting off of a rest, I was very, very happy with the group size that I got. Obviously, your results may vary, and the type of ammunition you shoot may dictate how good that group is, but I can definitely say that this is more accurate than I am as the shooter, and that's a good position to be in when you're trusting your life to something. Now, those of you who have been following the P365 since its release may be familiar with the striker drag issues that plagued it upon its initial release to the public, and I can say that looking at the cases that I shot, there was some minor drag still going on. However, it was not as severe as what we saw early on, and I personally would have no concerns over broken firing pins, at least within your first 1,000 or so rounds, which, to be honest, is more than most people are going to put through their pistol in their lifetime. Now, as I alluded to earlier, there are other options from Sig in the 365 line of pistols on the market. The newest one that I'm familiar with, at least, is and at least at the time of making this video, is their SAS model, which is their snag-free version. So you eliminate sights off the top of the gun altogether, and you just have your sighting system in the rear, and then you also have the ported barrel. That may be an interesting option that I have no direct experience with. But then on the other end of things, we have the XL, which, as the name would imply, is a little bit longer in the grip, where 12 rounds are standard. You can't go shorter than that. And then you do have a little bit longer barrel, as well as adding an optics cut to that pistol. Now, there aren't many optics on the market small enough to fit it, but at least it is already cut from the factory. That being said, we do have an in-house gunsmith, and as we've mentioned in other videos, he is capable of cutting your slides if you should want to mount an optic to any one of your handguns. So overall, I'm really impressed by this little pistol. If you are looking for an ultra concealable handgun while maintaining at least 9mm, I think that this is an excellent option to look at. I know there are other options that were just recently released to the market. However, regardless of what marketing you listen to, this thing is indeed smaller than those other options. So don't necessarily buy into all the hype. If you have the opportunity, definitely feel both of them in your hand, and you can make that determination for yourself, but at least that is my observation so far. Now, if you do want to get hands-on with these, we are a licensed dealer in Eugene, Oregon, and we always have these things in stock. So definitely come on down to Mazama Sporting Goods, and I think you'll like what you see with these little pistols.